All right, hello, welcome to I guess this is the third video about the bridge asset that we're building. I am going to do a short video today. I am kind of tired. It's been really hard week for me. So we're going to start working on the supports of this. We already did all the tier stuff, support between the tiers and stuff. So we're going to start working on dividing this into different, like if we have different lanes on each tier, and then adding the support that we're later gonna hold the cables. But we're gonna do the supports, and I guess it's gonna be it for today. It's not gonna be that super short, but it's gonna be a little bit of work there. So let's go to that thing. All right, so here, let me switch to my Houdini stuff. So this is what we did last time, and where did not work in. I heard that the Mac, you just kind of sometimes just click on Houdini too, but that is my problem, I guess. Let me save this as a new version. I'm still working with the point, the previous video, previous thingy. The previous file. So we're gonna do a couple things here. We're gonna get divisions along this direction. So we're gonna have if we're gonna have like multiple rows. I don't think I'm gonna use that in my other perk that I want to do, but that is what's done on the original tutorial. So I'm gonna put it here, and then we're gonna have supports that are gonna be added for this to have like cables between this stuff later. So we're gonna do that, and for that we're gonna use the same thing we've done with the bridge, the bridge lines here that we use. Like for example, the width. You remember we did this. So if we divide this, we're gonna have basically lanes, or what would be lanes on the bridge there, right? All right. So what we're gonna do is use, as I mentioned, the curves here. So I'm gonna start. I'm not gonna organize this yet. I guess I'm gonna have a session of organization for now. I'm just gonna put a resample here, and then connect the width line, which right now is just 2 points. Let me put the points on and the numbers. You can see it's just 2 points right now, right? So we're gonna divide this because we want lanes. So we're gonna have to resample this thing. So I'm gonna just do this and then put it over here. And what I tend to do with this, so I know what's happening, is I put a null here and say, oh, this is the width line, or line width. No, it's the width line. Just so I know what's working here, because I'm just bringing this all the way over here. So I just know, like, oh, this is a new section of the stuff that I'm gonna work on, but I know what that is. So I'm gonna resample this into, let's say it's gonna be either, it's not gonna be a maximum sampling, it's gonna use segments. And then I'm gonna use, let's say I'm gonna put like maybe like that's gonna be 3 lanes, or 2 lanes, or just 1 lane. Let's put 2 lanes for now, or just let's say, yeah, 2 lanes. And that is gonna be used for a few things. I think I actually want to have that resample over here. Are we using this thing? Yeah, because we also want to affect this, guys. So I think actually I'm gonna move the resample over here at the start of this. And again, I'm gonna press Option on Mac, or just Alt on Windows, Linux, and then merge of those guys there. Put the resample here, so you can see, yeah, that already is giving us what I want for this as well. So by putting it here, we can actually get this affected as well, which we actually need. So that's good. And then we also affect the other stuff we've done, like adding I guess the sides. Yeah, you can see this is already working, right? This actually, I think this is all we needed to do for this, but we are gonna use this for other stuff as well. But for this section, we already have that working. Like you can see, if we make this just one, 2, 3, 4. We can add more lanes to the bridge there, and it's working, which is great. Seems like our procedural work is it's paying off. All the stuff that we did, it's paying off. Look at that. So good when things just work, right? Doesn't happen that often, but I guess it worked now. So I think for this, we're gonna have a second resample. So let's call this, I guess, tier. What do I call this? Lanes resample. I don't know why I added resample to this one, but then for the other one, which is gonna be this, I'm gonna get the bridge length curve directly, and then curve bridge length curve bridge, because I'm gonna divide this differently than the other one, because I don't want to have as much towers as divisions on the bottom there. So we're gonna have another resample here, and then we're gonna resample this differently. Let's say tier towers, like that. I don't need to call it resample. Yeah, so that is gonna be, again, not by maximum segment length, but maximum segments. And this is gonna be where we're gonna copy the towers to. So let's put really simple cube, which cube doesn't exist, I guess, in Houdini. I mean, by default, I think it exists on the actual regular menu. I think I need to get this working with my tool. So that is my problem, I guess. So we're gonna have a box, and this is gonna be the base tower box. The tower, and then of course it's gonna have like a size and stuff. Let's make it small for now. And if we just copy this, actually I need to use this more, CP. And then if we put a transform here, forget my shortcuts, and then we make a scale on this guy like that. I should really just not do this here and do it on a transform, so we have a uniform scale thingy. So another transform that make this maybe 0.1 and 0.1. Should probably link this to parameters and then just control the width with one of them. So let's do that actually. Or just drag it over here. Relative reference, and then now we only control this on the UI, and we have the width of this, and then we can control this and have the height of it, which again, it's a lot. Let's put like 7 meters or 10 meters. I don't know. Then if we copy that, now we're starting to have that. And if we see our bridge here as a reference, you can see we're starting to get those towers that I want. Those towers are thick. So let's start making, 0.1 was actually better. That's good. So this is gonna be tower width, tower height, but if you remember on the tower, should have like a drawing kind of thing. I need to get my drawing stuff going here. But what we want is actually I could maybe make a cable that goes like this, and then I'm drawing like super bad. So like this, I need to get my tablet like this, and then cables between this, and then go down. So basically what I'm saying is we don't need the first tower and the last tower there. So we only need to copy on the middle points, and then we're going to have suspension cables going along this and then going along these towers and then going down to the bottom of the bridge there. So we don't need those cables there. I mean those towers on the ends. So what we're gonna do is again group by range. Again, the same thing we did before, right? So let's go to the length tower here. Let's do. We already did this. I'm gonna do it after the resampling. So we don't want to group the first and the last point. We already did this. So if you missed that, you are getting a refresher here. So let's say tower. Let's call this tower points group. Tower points the group. I'm gonna grab that and copy it to the name of the group. Actually, no, this is not. This is the group expand. What am I doing? Guys, tell me about this. I'm just making a fool out of it. Again, this is not what I want. Group range. Why aren't you guys telling me? Group by range. Now that's what I want. Group by range. Can you please scream at me when I make these mistakes? Please. Please. So we want to change these 2 points. And remember, we said just remove one from the start and remove one from the end. And that should be it. But we didn't change these 2 points. Change it to points. And now we just have that. Just remove one from the start and one from the end. And then we have the points that we want to copy to. We change this to that and actually use that group here in the copy to points. Look, now we only have that. And that is awesome. And now this is almost done. So we might do like a little bit of cleanup on this video. I don't know. So also the other thing we want to do is right now it's just in the center. If we see, let's see this, I guess. Right now they're just in the center, but we're gonna put them on the sides as well, right? So for that, we're gonna use our friend the bridge curve that we have here, the width line. And again, if I use my tools that I developed with so much care, we're doing this, but this is actually the other way around because this is supposed to be over here and this one's supposed to be over here. Now, there you go. That's what I want. There's a couple of issues here, but this is working. Copy towers and then copy towers to width, I guess. Width. So there you go. That is working good. Let's make some rearrangement here. So this is working. One thing I want is have the controls to manage the width of the tower, the height of the tower, and the offset of the tower. You can see the towers are going all the way down here. So we want to have a control to actually move them like this. So we're going to do that. And that's going to be actually pretty simple. Most of it's going to be on the just the type properties for bringing the UI, the HDA parameters, and we're gonna control the stuff that we set here. I sometimes like to do this. If you notice, like I leave the box like a unit box. I don't change the box size, and then I modify it with transforms because that means I have the box stays at 1, and that is important with a lot of tools in Houdini. If you know your box is a unit size, you can do a lot of things with it, transform it, move it. If you want to have it 3 times larger, you know that scale of 3 is 3 times larger. If you modify the unit asset and you want to scale it 3 times, then you have to calculate and do all sorts of things. So I recommend you keep your assets, if they're not even at unit size, like make them a unit size so you know how to work with these assets. That's how modular stuff works. Right, so Varo makes his lesson. So let's just drag this guy to the section here for the parameters and call this tower. This is the width, right? Width, tower width. And I don't know why I'm doing it there, because that makes it the label. And I want to give that to the name, tower width. And then from this, we're gonna have the tower height. My mouse is falling off. This is gonna be the, oh no, I put it over here. Drag it again to the name so it goes down. Again, I don't want to do that. Tower height. Tower height. And then we're going to expose this translate y as the offset. Translate tower offset. Offset tower offset. There we go. So we have a tower offset, and we're gonna, let's make some defaults out of this. I think 0.1 is seems to be. Let's just merge this with the rest of the stuff over here. Let's merge this guy and look at everything in. All right. I mean, yeah, one. Let's leave it at the width at 1. Let's bring the parameters, and then let's say play with the parameters to get some good defaults. Of course, let's we need to apply this and accept it. The offset's gonna be weird because it's gonna be from 0 to 1. So I want the offset to be like maybe, I don't know, like that. For now, the height is gonna be too much. But now look at this. This is the height is going from the center, so I don't want that actually. So let's move this guy. So we're using this one for that. So we're gonna have to calculate or subtract the scale from the y. So let's copy this parameter, copy parameter, and then go here and say this divided by, I'm gonna open a parenthesis, relative channel, because I think I want only half of this. Let's reset the translate, the offset, or we can just, oh, actually, I'm doing this wrong. I'm doing this wrong, right? Yeah, I'm doing this wrong. What I want is to, the other way around, the translate from scale. Sorry, a little bit tired today, but let's try it the other way around. I mean, I'm just a human being here, guys. Let's do that. No, not that. Relative reference divided by 2. Let's see, tower height. All right, yeah, I'm doing this wrong. So what I need to do is actually, or what I want is for the height always to start from the bottom of the tower. So actually I am a little bit dumb, but what I want is, if you think about it, what I want is always to have the pivot at the bottom. So if I want to have the pivot always at the bottom, what I want to modify is actually the pivot, not the, we could do it with the translate, but I want to do the pivot. This is simpler. So whatever we want is just, whatever translate we get in, we could put that, we could put the scale on the pivot, but we can actually just say, well, just give me the lowest y we get from this bounded box of this object and just put it at the bottom. Or you could just get one of the points at the bottom, but I like to do this. I think this is working. This works good, like using the bounding box expression and then get the first element, which is all ourselves. And then there's all these weird expressions in Houdini you put together in the different bounding boxes. You can also actually, if you don't know, you can actually use numbers for this. This is an index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can actually use numbers here, but it's clear if you just put the words, I guess. So in this case, we're gonna get the dy min, and that actually is gonna give us the minimum of the y-axis. So now if you see here, if I scale this, it's like scale this is always scaling from the bottom. If I offset this somewhere else, it's still gonna scale from the bottom. If I offset this higher, you can see this is always scaling it from the bottom. And that's what I want. So now let's get a proper position for this. Let's make it, I don't know, about, I'm gonna put it all the way down like that and then get some height. The width is gonna stay to 1. I want it to be 1. But the height is gonna be, I don't know, let's make it 6. I think that's a good height to add in later the wires. Might be too high, maybe 5. I don't know, something like that. But now the height is gonna always start from the bottom. So let's get this defaults to the tool. I'm gonna use this as the defaults. Type properties, tower offset. Let's make it -2. And then the height, gonna make it 5 by default. And the parameter here, the width. No, that's the width. I'm gonna make this 0.1, that's good. But this is gonna be from 0.001 to maybe 0.3. So I don't have like a very range there. The height is gonna be from 0.001 to, I don't know, 10. And the offset's gonna be from -10 to 10. And that should give us good ranges here. We can reset that. Yeah, that gives us a good range there. And then that gives us a good range there. Undo, and then this gives us a nice range there. It's not super thick, but not a large range there. And that's good. So now actually we need something else. We need to control the number of lanes. Let's make that a parameter here. We have 2 lanes. Let's go here and say lanes, number of lanes. Right, so from 1 to not to 50, let's make it, I guess, from 1 to 5. And then let's modify the other resample we have here. And let's make this, this is gonna be weird because we have 5, but we only have 4 towers, because this is the number of segments. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 between the points are 5. So how do I do this? I think I'm gonna have to create a new parameter. So I don't think we've done this in this tutorial, but we're gonna do this. Get an integer, grab it over there, actually put it there and say tower. Again, I don't want to do it there. Tower amount. And then this is going to be tower amount. And then we're going to have between, we need at least 1 tower to have cables down, up and down. So from 1, we could have 0 towers, I guess, and then we don't have cables, but let's put it, let's go from 1 to 10. At least we have some towers, and let's make it 3 towers by default. And then we're going to link this parameter to this. So let's say we want 3 towers. So we're going to copy this parameter, just copy it, and then relative reference here. But that's not going to give us 3 towers. So we need to add to this one. That's why I created another parameter, so we can control this with an expression. So we can just add the expression and add 1. So this amount makes sense with the parameter. So now we can have 2, 1, or 10. So that's basically what I wanted to do there. Cool. And let's see if the other parameter is working. Number of lanes. 1 lane. Yeah. 2 lanes or more lanes. Like a lot of lanes for super tiny cars or super slim cars. I don't know. There could be single person cars with single size cars. I don't know what I'm saying. So yeah, so we have now towers, and now that we have towers, we can start adding cables to these towers. And I think I'm gonna add supports between these towers and also cables. So yeah, that's gonna be next. So stay tuned for now. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this one. For now, it's all good. I think we got some good examples and techniques there. Keeping that tower always pivot always the bottom is something I always do to get the pivot to where I want it to go. And I think it's a good point to finish this video. Start working on your own bridge. See if you get better ideas than what I did here. I'm sure you have like already ideas with this and say, oh, I can do this better than this guy. This is simple. You should try that and figure out your ideas and make them better than me. And even share if you have something that you're doing and you're doing a better job or just the same job that I'm doing here. Share it on the comments. Share some links to the stuff that you're doing. Or if you want to share pictures, go to our Discord channel. Share pictures there and we can see it and give you feedback and or tell how amazing you are by the amazing bridge you're doing already. All right, guys, thank you. Hope you're enjoying this. Thank you for joining me doing this, and I will see you in the next installment of this amazing bridge we're doing. All right? How am I ending these videos? I don't know. Let's keep learning together as always. All right? Cheers. Let's keep working on stuff.